Okay, this is the coolest thing since sliced bread, and it's something that I've been trying to find a way to do for our RPG Key customers for a long time, and I don't know, maybe I'm a little overexcited about it, but it's pretty neat. So let me show you what I'm doing. If you go to the function menu in your RPG Key and you select the button and UI actions, and you hit the little arrow, it opens up this window here, which you've already found, and you have two options. You can create a single macro right now, okay, or you can scan Lightroom or Photoshop or your calculator application, whatever. You can scan it for all of the buttons that our program can find. So let me show you, we'll do a single button. So I'm gonna click on this, okay, and it asks you some questions. Do you wanna do a left click? If we find a button, it says, do you wanna do a left click and do you wanna click on it one time? Do you wanna do a right click and click on it 5 times? So I'm gonna do a left click one time, but you could do right click 10 times, whatever. So if it's a button like that's an adjustment button, you could click on it a bunch of times. So I'm going to click on left click one time. I'm going to hit continue. And the directions here say hover your mouse over the button you want to use to buy the action. And when you've got the proper information shown on this window, hit or hold down the control key. So on my computer, I'm actually on a Mac, it runs a little different. I'm going to go over here and I say, okay, I want to record the 9 key. Okay. Now, if you look here, the 9 key doesn't say much. It says, but if it doesn't, there's no name. But I'm going to go ahead and just control click. I'm going to just say 9 key, test 9 key. Okay, and now it says, okay, so we've created that function, and so there it is. I've created a macro that triggers that button. Now, why would this be useful for somebody else? Now, here's another thing you could do, okay? Let's try doing it in Lightroom. So let's go to the same tool. Oh, Lightroom, I said. All right, same tool, and now we're going to create a single button, and we're going to do it now for one of the text boxes that's to the right of a slider. So let's pick something obscure that you might want. Like, I don't know, a very popular one is the amount of vignette, which is not included in the RPG Key software. So if you find here, you say, okay, we could create a macro that double clicks this amount button, and it would actually reset this slider to 0. That's a function that's in Lightroom. Or we could click on the edit box. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to record a macro right now by hitting the control key with my mouse over this edit box. Okay, and I'm going to just say VIG test box. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. So this has been created. So what will happen is if I put this on the RPG Key, I can now, let's do a search here for VIG. VIG. Okay. I can now trigger that box and then run it with my arrow keys on my computer keyboard. Okay, small or high. And so you can, in the next video, I'll show you how to stack this new action with a button that does, arrow key up 10 times. So this tool is phenomenal. I mean, just going to be a huge asset to all of our users. The other thing is you can scan. So if I hit the scan button, now warning, if you do this, it's going to create a lot of functions. So I'm going to hit the scan button and it's saying, okay, find the window that you want to work with, which is Lightroom, and hit and hold down the control key. So we're going to do it. Okay, now this is going to take some time. You'll see it scanning, but it's about to make a macro for every single button that it finds on this screen of Lightroom. So if you really wanted to do this, you could do it once in the library module and once in the develop module. But I don't recommend that because it's going to find like 400 buttons, and you don't want to scroll through and find the proper one. So the manual tool is definitely the preferred method. But it's scanning right now and creating a macro for all of the buttons that it finds in the develop module of Lightroom, which again, I don't recommend you use this tool. I recommend you use the manual tool, but it is kind of fun. It does find a ton of macros for you, and it's about to spit them out and show them to you. So let's take a look here. Okay, so we are done there. So if we go here to Lightroom, so here are all of the buttons that it just found. Okay, and again, I don't recommend you use that, but that is there for you if you need it. The more useful of the two tools is the single manual tool. You know, we could go here and do a left click 2 times, record, and we're going to do it right here on this amount function that you see, and reset vignette amount. And so now, if I trigger that macro, it's actually going to reset any adjustment that the user that I had done previously. All right, enough. I'm rambling. It's a really cool tool.